بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We're still in the chapter of transactions, Kitab Al-Bahiyyah, the book of transactions, and we're still speaking on the prohibited types of transactions, the transactions that you can't have. Page 403. The types of things that you cannot sell or buy, and or the ways that you cannot sell or buy, or both, but one is going to be sufficient. So it could be something which is haram to sell, haram to buy, or it could be something which is halal to sell, halal to buy, but the manner in which you're selling it or buying it renders the contract prohibited. طيب. Secondly, point number 2 is that by knowing the things which cannot be sold and the things which cannot be bought, by knowing the ways that you cannot sell a product, by knowing the ways in which you cannot buy or purchase a product, you realize that the haram and prohibited things are restricted. And they are not unlimited, they are restricted. And once you know the restrictions, everything other than that, everything besides that is going to be lawful, permissible. Buy like you want to buy, sell how you want to sell, buy what you want to buy, sell what you want to buy, or sell what you want to sell. As long as it doesn't fall under these prohibited things. And this is the wisdom of the Sharia, by making the haram things limited and numbered, and the lawful things unlimited and unnumbered. Tight. So it could be the product itself, which is unlawful, like the flesh of swine, or it could be the way that the thing is bought or sold or traded, etc. Tight. So continuing speaking on these different types of prohibited types of contract, we mentioned والعبد العابق والمغانم حتى تقسم والثمر حتى يصلح والصوف في الظهر والسمن في اللبن والمحاقلة والمزابنة والمعاومة والمخاضرة والعربون والعصير إذا أو إلى من يتخذه خمرا والكالي بالكالي وما اشتراه قبل قبضه وطعام حتى يجري فيه الصاعان ولا يصح الاستثناء في البيع إلا إذا كان معلوما ومنه استثناء ظهر المبيع. Things which cannot be sold, not because the actual thing itself is prohibited, but the manner in which that thing is being sold. 1, he says, Al-Abd al-Abiq, a slave who has run away, a runaway slave. A slave, someone who is owned in the legislature, legally, and that type of commodity. And if a person runs away, and the master or the owner of the slave says, I'll sell you my servant, I'll sell him to you. The buyer says, okay, let me see him or let me see her. What can they do? Can they read? Can they train horses? Whatever you're training them to do. A warrior, a cook, whatever it may be. He says, well, he's not here right now. He ran away last night. I hit him, I did this to him, so on and so forth, or he just doesn't want to be my slave and he ran away. But when you catch him, you can have him, just pay me now. That's prohibited. The actual buying and the selling of a person who is in bondage legitimately is not prohibited. But selling or buying in this manner in which you don't have the ability to bring them is prohibited. What is happening? Where are they? Are they damaged? Are they wounded? And the list goes on. So the reason behind this being prohibited is al-jahala. Al-jahala is unknown. Gharar, risk. Person could be dead, could be wounded, and the list goes on. The slave could have run away on a horse, fell and bumped his head. The slave can no longer read. The slave could have been wounded. When you try to capture him, he can no longer train your soldiers for battle anymore. Clear. Moving forward. He says, وَالْمَغَانِمِ حَتَّى تُقْسَمَ, and the spoils of war, until they are divided, until they are given out and handed out, until they are properly administered. So therefore, I'll sell you this and I'll sell you that. You can buy it from me now. You want this horse, you want this sword, you want this weapon. Yeah, I'll sell it to you for such and such amount of money. And it hasn't been split up yet. I might not even get that sword that I want on that slain enemy. I may not even get that pot of gold back in those times. Everyone understand this? There's no guarantee that you're what? Going to have that thing. Right? And this also goes to show is that in a time of warfare and in a time of victory, in which there are spoils, in which there is booty, there's going to be, or there are rules. And it's not just reckless plundering and looting. It's not reckless plundering and looting. It's discipline and rules. Author says, وَالثَّمَرِ حَتَّى يَصْلُحْ. And fruit prematurely. Fruit cannot be sold or bought prematurely. It has to be able to be ripe. Whether the fruit needs to become dark, yellow, whatever the color of the fruit may be, the size of the fruit, the aroma, the smell of the fruit, etc. And that's because the fruit may remain green. And then what can a person do with it? The fruit may not grow. What can a person do with it? A person will spend money and lose money. It's an unknown contract. Now the question is now, in our modern world of fruit and vegetables, can I go to the market and buy green banana, green plantain, a green mango? A friend of mine from Jamaica once, he says, Mufti, can you go to the store for me? I want you to bring back a sour mango. Not a red one, not an orange one. I want it to be 3/4 green and just a little bit of red. But I want it to be crunchy and, sour. No salt and pepper though, or hot sauce. Is that permissible to buy that piece of fruit? Clear? You got this or not? Or does the mango have to be with its full tan? Everyone understand this? It's full color. The bananas have to be yellow, not green. Everybody clear on this? It says here in the English translation, it says here, fruits until they are ripe. Also, that which is prohibited, fleece on an animal. Fleece on an animal. It can be skin, hair, what. Al-Muhim, the animal's still alive. How much fleece? What's under the fleece? Is it good? You don't know. Shaving the sheep, trimming it with the shears, then you sell the fleece. Different what? Different story. And it goes back to the same prohibition. It says here, butter and milk. Butter and milk. The word semen sometimes can mean butter. Some cultures may say ghee, buttermilk, right? Sweet buttermilk. We all know the different processes or the process that takes place when it comes to dairy. Things that are related. Yogurt, cheese, milk, butter, buttermilk, cottage cheese. This is skimmed, this is drained, this is boiled, this is dried, this is, you add this, whack it, that dairy, right? He says here, trays of al-muhaqala, al-mudhabana, al-muawama, and al-mukhadara. Nothing is translated here. They didn't even attempt to translate those terms. These terms, al-muhaqala, al-muzabana, and that's something that you want to fix. Al-muzabana, not mudhabana. You want to fix that in your book? Al-muzabana. طيب. Al-muzabana. You want to fix that, inshallah, on page 403. That's incorrect transliteration. طيب. Muawama. These things here are basically buying and selling, trading things dry versus something that's still in the tree, or fruits that come from the tree for 1 year. وهكذا. The reason behind this Going to be two main reasons. One, you don't know what it's going to produce, how much it's going to produce. Rain, wind, locusts, weasels, insects. Allahu Alam, what will happen? Secondly, with regards to certain things in which there is riba, which will come later on, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Moving forward, it says here in the footnotes, هي بيع الزرع بكيل من الطعام معلوم. It's to sell the zara. And the zara is that which grows from the earth, the agriculture. Bikailin. Obviously, we have wazn, we have kail. Wazn is weight, and kail is volume. Mizan is weight, heavy and light. And mikyal is what you can fit. So, obviously, if we were trading sugar for rice, a cup of sugar for a cup of rice, would it be based off of weight or volume? The sugar in here is the same volume as the rice. Which two cups will be heavier? Sugar. Sugar or rice? Which one? We do want to get into it. You take it bismillah on the rice? Why? The rice is heavier than the sugar. What you say, Mukhtar? Sugar's going to be heavier, without a question, right? طيب. A cup of dates. Huh? You sure? طيب. Moving forward. Dry food, fresh, etc. طيب. والمزابنة بيع ثمن النخل بتمر كيلا وبيع العنب بالزبيب كيلا. So we have two things here. Listen, it says بيع ثمن النخل, the dates in the tree or the trees, بتمر, with dry dates, and not weight but volume. Or dates versus grapes, عنب, or grapes versus dry, yani raisins versus fresh grapes, and volume because of prohibitions of riba, which will come later on. Moving forward, he says والمعاومة وهي بيع ثمن النخلة لأكثر من سنة في عقد واحد, as I purchase everything that comes from this tree for an entire year in one majlis. Not I buy it once a month, I buy it every harvest, 2 harvests a year. Everything that comes from this tree for an entire year, I'm gonna purchase from you what? Right now. How much will be produced from that tree? Will anything be produced from that tree? Etc. طيب. He says, والمخاضرة بيع الثمرة خضراء قبل بدو صلاحها, is the fruits, dates, before they are ripe, meaning they're still green, similar to حتى يصلها. Moving forward, والعربون. Then says here also what is prohibited to sell. He says al-urbun, earnest sale. What is an earnest sale? What's meant by urbun? هو أن يعطي المشتري البائع درهما أو نحوه قبل البيع على أنه إذا ترك الشراء كان الدرهم للبائع بغير شيء, ويقال العربون بفتح العين والراء والعربان. بل ذكر الإمام النووي فيها 6 لغات فانظرها في المجموع. Sometimes people translate al-urbun to mean a down payment. A down payment. You put a down payment, layaway, they hold the thing. Says here in the footnotes, it's for the seller to give and يعطي المشتري, to give for the buyer, the mushtari, he gives the ba'i', the seller, a dirham, 2 dirham, 3 dirhams before the contract. I want you to hold this for me. There's $20, right? There's $20 down, okay? على أنه إذا ترك الشراء كان الدرهم للبائع بغير شيء. You come back and buy it, you put the remaining $80 or not, I keep the 20. That's prohibited. They have to return to you your down payment. Everyone understand this? Clear? طيب, moving forward. Says here on the next page in Arabic, وَالْعَصِيرِ إِلَى مَنْ يَتَّخِذُهُ خَمْرًا. Selling juice to someone that will produce liquor with it. Selling juice to someone who will produce what? Liquor from it. Liquor can be made from many things. Juice, jelly, rice, potatoes, moonshine, whatever you want to call it. Whatever your cultural reference, what? Turpentine in the Prohibition era, right? All types of cleaning products. People were starving for alcohol. They were dry, right? You'd be shocked at what you can do. What? A bottle of a jar of grape jelly in jail. You know how much it may cost? How much you going to pay for that? Welch's jam, jelly, Concord grapes. They may pay what? Allah Alam for one jar, because that can what? You can work wonders with that by turning it, mixing it, and you have a what? Good old tayyib, homemade bootleg. Tayyib, khair inshallah. So if you sell juice, or now notice the author didn't say fruits. He never mentioned fruits. He didn't say grapes. He only said what? Juice. Why? Why did he say it like that? It says here in the footnotes, al-ma'na, he says كتب في هامش الأصل بخط غير والعنب وكتب فوقها الظاهر أي أن الظاهر هو هذا اللفظ والحق أن ما عبر بالمصنف سائغ لغة معبر به عند الفقهاء. And then there is discrepancy why it says juice here and not actual grapes, عنب. And some say that there's another version of the manuscript in which what? Grapes were mentioned. طيب. Says here in the Sharh, and obviously the Muhashi, he mentions here that some of the fuqaha, some of the scholars of Islam, they mention that a person can also say asir as well. Khairan, inshallah. Moving forward. Shawkani, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says here, وَأَمَّا بَيْءُ الْعَصِيرِ إِلَى مَنْ يَتَّخِذُهُ خَمْرًا في حديث لعن الله بائع الخمر وشاربها ومشتريها وعاصرها. أخرجه الترمذي وابن ماجه ورجاله ثقات من حديث أنس. وأخرج نحوه أحمد وابن ماجه وأبو داود وفي إسناده عبد الرحمن بن عبد الله الغافقي. وقد قيل إنه غير معروف وقيل إنه معروف وهو من أمراء الأندلس وصح الحديث ابن السكن. وأخرج الطبراني في الأوسط عن بريدة مرفوعا من حبس العنب أيام القطاف حتى يبيعه من يهودي أو نصراني أو ممن يتخذه خمرا فقد تقحم النار على بصيرة وإسناده حسن. وفي الباب أحاديث. He mentions the different narrations that talk about selling grapes to someone that would turn those grapes into alcohol. Whoever that person is, a Jew or Christian or other than that. So the question is now in 2020, I have a grape farm, a vineyard. Can I sell it to non-Muslims? And which I think and feel very confidently that they will use it to produce red wine or white wine. Chardonnay, huh? طيب? Yes or no? So I have to screen my customers and my clients? I can sell it to them. What if a guy says, this is my card, Mufti's Fine Spirits. I would like a ton of your finest grapes. Would you sell it to me? Allahu Akbar. What you guys say? Ashabul Yamin. You're not going to sell it. Ashabul Shimal is different. Fadda. Huh? Stick with the text. Don't sell it. What would you say, Zakaria? Stick with the text. Fine spirits, huh? Mufti's fine spirits. Allahu Akbar. Fine spirits, huh? Oh, that's on the card, huh? With a glass. What would you say, Akhi? Kombucha. Allahu Akbar. Fine spirits, huh? Tayyib. Moving forward. Khairan, inshallah. Alright, we'll stop here tonight, guys. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. What's important is, it's your job to take these general things and principles these specific things as well, and apply them to the modern times. And if you sit down and do it and think about it, trust me, you'll come up with 10 different questions and issues of the modern world and how people buy, sell, and trade fruit before it's ripe, weight versus volume, nah? And Allah knows best.